Your passwords, Bitcoin, bank accounts, and private messages feel secure today. But quantum computers are coming, and when they arrive, today's encryption could collapse overnight. Right now, the digital world runs on trust. Every login, every payment, every private message relies on encryption quietly doing its job in the background. We're told it's unbreakable, mathematically secure, and safe for decades. But there's a problem no one outside tech circles is really talking about. A new kind of computer is being built, one that doesn't just run faster, but thinks differently. Quantum computers don't play by classical rules, and that changes everything. Governments know it. Intelligence agencies have warned about it. Big tech is already preparing for it. Yet most people have no idea what's coming, how close we really are, or why data encrypted today could be exposed years from now. This is the story of Y2Q, the countdown to quantum, and why the clock is already ticking.
Let us view this side of the story with our YouTube channel, Acumen Analysis. Before the start of this video, please like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends to make them aware of upcoming threats to humanity.
What Y2Q actually means. Y2Q stands for Years to Quantum, and it describes the shrinking window before quantum computers can realistically break the encryption standards protecting the modern digital world. Nearly all secure communication today relies on public key cryptography, such as RSA 2048 and elliptic curve cryptography. These systems assume that certain mathematical problems are computationally infeasible. That assumption has held for decades, not because the math is unsolvable, but because classical computers are simply too slow to reverse it at scale. It measures how long current encryption remains trustworthy before quantum hardware crosses a threshold where theory becomes reality. What makes Y2Q dangerous is that it introduces a deadline to digital privacy. Governments, banks, and tech companies track Y2Q closely because once that threshold is crossed, security failures are not gradual, they are structural. There is no partial failure mode. Cryptography doesn't weaken over time. It works perfectly, right up until the moment it breaks completely. Why today's encryption feels safe. Modern encryption feels permanent because it is built on time-based assumptions. RSA and elliptic curves rely on the idea that reversing certain calculations would take longer than the age of the universe using classical machines. This belief shaped global digital infrastructure, from banking networks to cloud storage and identity systems. When engineers say encryption is secure, they usually mean secure against classical computation. That distinction matters. The safety comes from computational limits, not absolute impossibility. As long as attackers are constrained by classical hardware, encryption remains strong. The illusion of permanence emerges because most people never witness cryptography fail in real time. Systems either work or are replaced before they visibly break. But encryption does not degrade slowly. Once a new computational model arrives, systems designed for the old model become obsolete almost instantly, regardless of how reliable they seemed before. Security collapses not through gradual cracks, but through sudden mathematical irrelevance. How quantum computers change the rules. Quantum computers operate on principles that directly undermine classical cryptography. Instead of evaluating possibilities sequentially, quantum systems exploit superposition and interference to explore many states simultaneously. This allows them to attack mathematical problems in ways classical machines simply cannot replicate. Shor's algorithm transforms factoring large integers from an intractable problem into a solvable one, given enough stable qubits. This directly threatens RSA and elliptic curve systems used in secure logins, blockchain signatures, and encrypted communication. Grover's algorithm reduces the effective security of symmetric encryption, forcing much larger key sizes to maintain safety margins. Importantly, these are not speculative breakthroughs. The algorithms are mathematically proven and well understood. The only barrier is engineering, qubit stability, error correction, and scale. Progress in these areas has accelerated rapidly, which is why timelines that once stretched centuries now realistically fit within decades, rather than lifetimes. What actually breaks when quantum arrives? When quantum decryption becomes viable, the damage extends far beyond stolen passwords. Digital trust systems collapse at their roots. HTTPS certificates can no longer guarantee authenticity. Software updates can be forged. Blockchain transactions relying on classical signatures become forgeable once public keys are exposed. Secure email archives, cloud backups, and encrypted databases lose confidentiality retroactively. Even systems thought to be safe due to air gapping become vulnerable once encrypted data is copied. The danger is not chaos on day one, but delayed exposure at scale. Data harvested years earlier suddenly becomes readable all at once. Sensitive information assumed to be permanently private, medical records, legal files, classified communications can be exposed without warning. This breaks legal confidentiality, national security assumptions, and long-term personal privacy. Once trust in cryptographic verification disappears, rebuilding it becomes a global emergency rather than a technical inconvenience. The timeline nobody agrees on. Predicting quantum timelines is difficult because progress is non-linear. Early quantum machines focused on demonstrating qubits, not stability. Today's focus is error correction, coherence time, and fault-tolerant architectures. Small improvements compound quickly, making long-term forecasting unreliable. Most experts agree current machines are insufficient for cryptographic attacks, but also agree that future machines will not announce themselves politely. A single-state actor achieving cryptographically relevant quantum capability gains enormous asymmetric advantage. Public acknowledgement may lag years behind reality. This uncertainty compresses timelines artificially and forces decisions under incomplete information. Migration must occur before certainty exists, because security transitions take years to implement. Waiting for proof guarantees failure. The critical risk is not when quantum computers exist, but when attackers believe they exist. At that moment, encrypted archives instantly become strategic assets rather than protected secrets. Harvest now, decrypt. Later explained. Harvest now, decrypt later. Turns time into the attacker's ally. Encrypted data intercepted today retains value indefinitely if future decryption becomes possible. This strategy targets long-term secrets rather than short-term communications. Intelligence agencies, corporations, and criminal groups all understand this incentive structure. Data theft no longer requires immediate usability. Storage is cheap, encryption lifespans are finite, and quantum timelines are shrinking. Vast archives can be collected silently and decrypted years later in a single breakthrough moment. Medical records, biometric identifiers, diplomatic cables, and proprietary research remain sensitive decades later. Once decrypted, damage cannot be undone. Unlike passwords, identities and histories cannot be reset. This is why intelligence communities began issuing quantum-related warnings years ago. Encryption delays exposure. It does not guarantee immunity when adversaries plan across decades rather than months. The race to post-quantum cryptography. Post-quantum cryptography replaces vulnerable mathematical assumptions with problems believed to resist both classical and quantum attacks. Lattice-based cryptography is currently the most promising approach relying on geometric complexity rather than factorization. After extensive international review, new standards have been finalized for encryption and digital signatures. Major technology companies have begun deploying hybrid systems combining classical and post-quantum algorithms to reduce transition risk. However, adoption is slow by necessity, not negligence. Legacy systems, embedded devices, industrial controllers, and government infrastructure cannot be upgraded quickly without risking outages or failures. Compatibility, performance overhead, and operational risk complicate migration at scale. This creates a dangerous overlap period where quantum-capable attackers may exist before full protection is deployed. History shows infrastructure transitions take decades, not years, and cryptography is no exception. Why Bitcoin and crypto face unique pressure. Cryptocurrencies rely heavily on public key cryptography for transaction authorization. While blockchains themselves are immutable, the cryptographic assumptions protecting wallets are not. If quantum attacks compromise signature schemes, exposed public keys become exploitable. Funds are not instantly vulnerable, but delayed exposure creates systemic risk rather than isolated loss. Transitioning blockchains to quantum-resistant signatures requires consensus across decentralized networks, something notoriously slow and politically complex. Hard forks introduce coordination risks, user error, and the possibility of chain splits. Unlike centralized systems, there is no single authority to enforce upgrades or mandate timelines. This makes timing critical. A successful quantum transition preserves trust and network stability. A delayed one invites chaos, uncertainty, and potential loss of confidence. The crypto ecosystem understands this risk, but its defining strength, decentralization, also makes rapid, coordinated response far more difficult. What this means for you, right now. For individuals, the quantum threat is about data longevity. Messages that disappear quickly matter less than records stored forever. Identity documents, medical data, private keys, and intellectual property deserve special consideration. Choosing services actively planning for post-quantum security reduces future exposure, especially for information tied to identity, finance, or long-term privacy that cannot be easily changed or revoked once exposed. For organizations, quantum readiness is no longer theoretical. Inventorying cryptographic dependencies, prioritizing sensitive archives, and planning migration paths are essential steps. The cost of early preparation is far lower than the cost of emergency response. Security failures caused by quantum decryption will not look like breaches. They will look like historical exposures finally becoming readable. At that point, mitigation options disappear. The decisions made today quietly determine who remains secure and who becomes vulnerable years from now, long after the warning signs have faded. Quantum computers won't break the internet tomorrow, but they will change everything sooner than expected. If this helped you understand what's coming, subscribe, share this video, and stay ahead before the clock runs out.